You're now in tune to CONVOS with Mr. Cooper.
Welcome back to the show of all shows. This is CONVOS, of course. I'm Mr. Cooper, and my special guest for this inclination of CONVOS is somebody who I'm very familiar with. This is a man who I look to as a mentor in the field that he's in. When I met this man, he was known as the relationship expert, your coach. Now he's grown. This man is worldwide. He's been on television screens. He's been helping people figure their relationships out, figure out their lives. And I'm glad to have him on the show to talk about growth and to talk about where he is today. I want you all to welcome none other than Dr. Oliver T. Reid, the writing coach. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Brother Cooper? How are you?
Oh, man, I'm pretty good, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Oh, man, I'm so excited to be here, man, on live with you, man. And I'm just excited, man, to just have a dialogue tonight, man. Just positivity, man, and seeing you grind and seeing you going.
And I can say the same. Here's the thing. Here's what people don't understand, man. People may connect when life happens, you go with life. You know what I mean? You handle business. I know you're straightforward, you know what I mean? So when you have a goal set in mind, you're gonna attack that goal head on, you know what I'm saying? And I would like to say that I'm the same in that sense. So we ran across each other a couple of years ago. We came together through a mutual acquaintance, and I saw the vision early. You know, those conversations that we had in the office. I saw that early. You know what I mean? This man. First of all, let me tell you, this man. He be dressed to the T. Y'all think I be dressed? Y'all think I'm spicy right now. This man, he dressed to the T. Where does your fashion sense come from? I'm gonna start this whole thing different, man. Where does that swagger come from, sir?
Man, I appreciate it, man. You be killing the game, but you know, one of the things that it came from, my mom kept me in church. So we grew up very, very poor. Like we grew up in the hood. But she would always go to the Salvation Army. She would always do something, man, Goodwill, and we would get our clothes from there. And she's always had this sense of fashion to this day. She's always nice, dressed with the hat. She like the Sunday school, everything. And so I kind of grew up, man, you want to look fly. You know, I was the kind of guy that from either rugged to Tim's to, you know, let me put some wingtips on. That was just how I grew up. On to school every day with 3-piece suit. And when I was in college at Winston-Salem State. So it was just kind of like an expression. So I really, really got into that way.
Listen, when it comes to vision, when it comes to believing in yourself, I will put you at the top of that list of men that I know, you know what I mean, that sticks to their vision and follows through. You've written books, you've helped to change lives in the short amount of time that I've known you. Where do you pull from with that? Like I know you said, you know, you wanted to help people, but where do you pull from when it comes to the relationship aspect of that man and that woman? What do you where do you pull from when it comes to helping those married individuals and those that want to get married or those that, you know, seek that companionship?
Yeah, it's one of those things where, man, I would pull from a lot of my life experience, being, you know, brokenness. Like from a standpoint of being, my dad wasn't around. I didn't grow up without pops, and how that affected my relationship. And even to this day, it's one of those things where I have to overcome certain things in relationships. And so I just I always approach you, you know, people with one of the things where I say, hey, everything in life is for a reason, and there is no thing wasted. So out of all the things that I've learned and actually been through, it allows me to help others, kind of give them a cheat code, right? You can choose as a man or woman to listen to it, but here's some things that I've experienced, and not only that, here's some things that I'm still going through.
Right.
So from that standpoint, I never paint the picture like I got all together this pedestal. But from a standpoint, here's some things I learned. Here's some things that can help you cut your time in half or in thirds if you only listen to this particular thing. And so that has helped me to really be authentic to people and let them know, hey man, no matter where you are, let's be real with yourself. And I always focus on communication, because in any relationship, if there's a breakdown in communication or if there's an issue, I guarantee it has something to do with communication.
That's a fact.
If you start to dig under that, you'll figure out communication with money, communication with extramarital affairs or cheating or whatever. It's a communication. And it's a dialogue that's either happening or not happening, or either two people are not talking to each other. They may be talking at each other. But if you start digging, either way you look at it, it's communication. So I really try to get people to talk to people and get to understand their communication, how to deal with issues.
I mean, but it's fact, you know, if you don't have communication, you have nothing. How else are you supposed to know what your significant other is thinking, and vice versa, you know? So communication is key. What are some of the key elements in what makes Dr. Oliver T. Reid? Like, if I had a bowl here, right? I had a couple of ingredients. What could give me like 3 or 4 ingredients that makes up Dr. Oliver T. Reid?
I would say one of the main ingredients is sauce. The secret sauce, man. And I always I teach my writing coaching people this. The people that I work with write their books is, what's your secret sauce? And I always say this, man. You hear me say it a lot. McDonald's is not worried about Ruth Chris. Ruth Chris is not worried about Taco Bell. All of them got their secret sauce, or all of them got their audience. And so my biggest thing is, when I say sauce, I'm talking about the solution, your audience, your ultimate. And I'll just stop at ultimate. Your ultimate is when nobody can beat you being you.
Right.
No matter how people emulate what I do, nobody can be the best Dr. Oliver T. Reid except me. And when I'm in my ultimate, bro, it's just like when you're in Coop mode, Mr. Coop mode. Nobody can be Mr. Cooper in that mode. Right. So that's the first ingredient would be sauce. I would also say sour, you know, in that bowl, because I've had some bitter things, man, that everything wasn't sweet for me.
Right.
Everything that I'm doing now, everything that I'm embarking on, nobody gave me anything, bro. I had to go through it. I had to endure it. I wish I would have had some cheat codes. I had to bump my head. I had to be left alone. I had to deal with pain. And, you know, still going through those different types of things. So I'll say the sour, man, because you can't throw that away either. And then I would say the other thing, man, is that focus. I've been able to do that. Somebody hit me up the other day, and it was a great compliment. And it's not always been easy, but when I lock it in on the task, the reason I can do these books and do the things that I'm doing, a lot of people don't even know, it's the grace of God, because I don't even know how I do it, but I'm able to, even in pain, and I think that's just been because I've always had to fight. You know, I've always had to come up from a standpoint and say, hey, make it out of the hood where I was from, and it had to be a tenacity of locking in. So it's been great gifts. It's been the great gift of the Lord who gave me this, man. But I think that focus, you know, people, I had a guy hit me up the other day and said, man, I noticed you back, 10 years ago, you was on some other stuff, man, and you were able to still get the job done. He said, I should have shifted with you. He said, but a lot of times as a man, I had pride. So I was like, I ain't gonna ask him. He said, but when I look back now, man, you were locked in on some stuff that I can see in fruition now. And that's just been a grace of God, man, just being able to be locked in, have that sauce, and endure the sour.
Come on, so y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Y'all, it's the sauce, it's the sour, and it's that ability to be locked in and be focused that makes this man who he is. I like that. I actually like that. We're gonna take a quick commercial. We're gonna come right back, and we're gonna dive into the writing coach and why this is so important for those of you that watch my show to tap into, because you have to really be authentic in this field. And we're gonna let Dr. Oliver T. Reid talk to us about what he has coming up. All right? We'll be right back with more Convos. I'm Mr. Cooper. Back. This is Convos. I'm Mr. Cooper, and I'm joined by my special guest again, Dr. Oliver T. Reid, the writing coach. Sir, let's dive right into it, because there was a reason why I brought you on this show today. You know, I saw a post. First of all, this man, he works diligently. Let me tell you, the way this man posts, the way he markets, you know, that I can honestly say I'm proud, bro. I know how the thing goes. So every time I scroll and I see him in the suit, and then I see him Mark, ready to go. You're the writing coach, man. What was that transition? We spoke about it a little earlier, but what was that transition from being the relationship expert that you are and saying, okay, well, let me dive into helping people write their life story, or helping people cultivate being a writer and creator of their own books? What was that shift for you?
Yeah, I think for me, it was one of the things where I had to really look at something that I've always done. And no matter what, everything I've done, I would write about it. Back in the 80s and 90s, you know, when, I was a kid, I was still writing books. I was writing stories. And then when hip hop came, I fell in love with hip hop. I started writing rhymes. I started writing poetry. When I got older, I started writing, other things. I was always writing. I was always having this love affair with writing. But at the time, I didn't know that I was a writer. It was just something that I would do, express my anger, and I even said, hey, I remember losing the contest where I know I should have won the contest, and I was like, you know what, I ain't writing anymore. I'm done. But then something else came along and I started writing. And so from there, man, even in the relationship vein that I was in, I've started many businesses. I was always writing programs out. I was always writing something out. Whether I started a nonprofit or I started a business, I had to write out the business plan. Right. And what I tell people a lot of times, man, because you entertain, sing, whatever, when you speak or sing or whatever, that's still writing. When writing is speaking. And so it was a part of me. And so I was talking to my partner, business partner, man, he's kind of like a business coach. He was like, listen, man, he had been telling me, like, man, you drop books like nothing. You develop a system that works. Because I've written about 3 books a year since 2010. I'm working on 3 in queue now, and I'm still helping other people, ghostwriting, coaching my clients. I still got 3 books in queue because that's just how my mind works and processing our creative system.
Right.
And he was like, man, I'm telling you, you need to do what you're passionate about instead of creating all this stuff. What about helping other people create? And you don't have to be all these shiny different things, you know, because even when I was a relationship architect, it was like, that was really good, really cool, but what does that really mean? And I have to go and explain what that is. But now I can be me, I don't have to choose. I do relationship stuff, but I also mainly help people write in their relationship or write whatever. And so then he said, man, hey, let's just embrace that. So like some stuff we were talking about backstage, when you start to embrace who you are, it's like a synergy comes and an energy comes. And immediately, I don't know if you saw it, but my brand just went to another limit when I went over because I'm focused. Everything in my life has been about writing. When my pops was, you know, forsaken me, when we reconnected, and even when he was murdered, I wrote about it. Everything in life I write about. And so I teach people to milk the crisis. So I have this 4-point milk writing system, bro, and that system is fire. 4 steps.
Let it be known, bro. Let it be known. 4
steps that help milk writing system. And I always say milk the crisis. There's nothing wasted. Like I said earlier, the sour. I take the sour with me. I take the disappointment with me. I take the pain with me. See, a lot of times we want to skip to the best chapters of the movie. But all those parts of the movie make for a great story. And so what I do, man, is 4 basic steps. That's M in milk is the message. So you got to know what your message is. I, implementation. Once you know your message, you can implement. A lot of people try to write books, do anything, build careers, build businesses, and you don't even know who you're speaking to. So the messaging part is like, let's get that clear before you even know. I'm a creative. I've learned the hard way. I built businesses, spent thousands of dollars, and didn't really even know who my target audience was. So a lot of people want to write books, but they don't know what they want to say.
How they want to say it.
So how do you want to say it? So I come in and help dig deep, man, and even write books for you. I do a lot of ghostwriting, say, hey man, listen, hey, you can't write it, let me write it for us. And have creative ways to show people how to do it, and that's the I implement it. Because now that you got the message, now you got to implement it. A lot of people got good messages, you can't implement it, then it doesn't make any sense. So then the L in milk is to link it all together. How do I make my message and my implementation work together? Because that's when I get real saucy and put the secret sauce on it and make sure you got your swag, what separates you from whatever. Remember I said about the restaurants, the same thing with individuals. I don't have to worry about, oh man, somebody got the same kind of book I got. Because if I can put the secret sauce on it, that's you. When you reign in your ultimate, that's you. So I teach people how to get their ultimate out of their creativity, out of their writing. And basically I say, okay, cool. Even if you had 2 stories that both of y'all grew up in the same area, it's going to look different.
Right. It's not going to be the same because the sauce is different. That's
sauce is different. And you know how it is, man. We both food connoisseurs. We know how it is. When it has some good food, you know how to do that. The Caribbean food, you know how to get into whatever. So you know, Aunt Sally can make a sauce, and Aunt Jane can make the same sauce, and both of them will taste different.
Totally different.
Use the same ingredients. So I'll use that, and then that last thing is linking it all together, but then I'll move to the K. The K is knowing your book and knowing your product. You out a lot, man. You can see those artists that really know their craft and those that don't really know their craft. They're just trying to feel their way through. And so I've been on stages with a lot of authors. People writing books, you don't know what's in their book, because maybe they got a ghostwritten, or they just threw something together, they don't really believe in it. So I really walk people through the process of knowing your book, because instead of writing a book, I say this, man, I always tell them to become a book. Don't just write a book because you get disappointed when the book don't sell or whatever, you just all into. But if you become a book, you got a story. You're that walking billboard. You're that billboard and say, hey, you start a conversation, and then we start to lead generate into what you want this book to do. And because it's a part of you, instead of saying, hey, this is just something I just want to sell.
Right.
So those are the 3 steps: the messaging, the implementation, and linking it all together, and then knowing your book. And I also have a free training that I'll drop the link to that people can get that watch the show now.
Okay. We're definitely going to have that link at the bottom of the screen, you know, down there somewhere. Definitely going to be there. And it'll also be in the description when you come and click on the video. Last few questions, brother, because I know you're fairly busy. Generational wealth. This is something that I do recall us having a conversation about in our offices down on the 12th floor in West Palm Beach. I remember that vividly, and sir, I can very much say that both of us are definitely on that path. We have definitely paved that way. I'm a father, you are a father. I know it is important for me, a man that did not grow up with a father, you know what I mean, as well as yourself, really, you know, I know it's important to leave that legacy.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you, your children? How does it feel to have established yourself? I don't care if millions are there now, it's coming in the future, you know what I mean? You've established, it's already, the platform's already been set, the concrete has already been laid, you have laid the path for generational wealth. How does that feel, sir?
Yeah, man. It is a weight. It's a good weight, but it's a weight that I have to, especially in my seasons, and having to deal with things in a relationship way. You know, the good, bad, ugly that comes with relationships. I'll say a lot of times, man, the ideal thought, let's just look at children, the ideal thought of what we would do as a father in our mind before we had kids. For me, I'll speak, it's totally different. I thought things were going to be a totally different way in my relationship with my children. So understanding that relationship and allowing it to be what it's supposed to be rather than the ideology of what I thought it would be has been traumatizing to me, but in a good way. It's been like, oh, I thought it was going to be this way. But even though it's another way, I'm realizing that there's, for example, if my son never speaks to me, my daughter never honors me, I still have a responsibility, a God-given commandment to leave an inheritance for them. Now, that's the crazy part. It's not fair. It's almost how we look at God. People want to look at God as being a fair God, but he's not a fair God. He's a just God, which means he'll give a man a certain talent and leave that man the opportunity, 24 hours, for that man to work his talent. So if that man's talent is to plant beans, he's giving him 24 hours to plant beans. Now another man, he may give him the talent to be a physicist, right? But if you're looking from the outside, man, you're like, oh God, you gave the physicist more talent than you gave the bean. But it don't mean that the physicist got more money than the bean maker. The bean maker can be a multi-billionaire, but everybody eat beans.
You got the same 24 hours to work your gift.
Work your gift. So what it is you have to work your gift, which going back to leaving a legacy is so important because it's not about me. I can't fumble the ball and say my dad didn't do it. So how a lot of brothers do, I ain't gonna do it. Because legacy is more than money. Legacy is a system, a wealth, a mindset, a wealthy mindset. So my kids look at me now, man, and not only can we take trips and do whatever, they see me in their life using a system in the past. For example, my son writes, you know, and so I basically took his writing ability and I already put it in a book when he gets ready to publish it. So he didn't even have to do it. Look at this, man. He put it out on social media. He did something on social media. Me and the foresight of my system and the way I think and being a legacy, took what he put, saw the potential, already put it in the book. Say, it's on you, son, whether you want to do it or not. But you can't say, I ain't leave you a legacy. Also, I've written over 40 books, too.
Say that again for the people in the back that didn't hear you. You've written over how many books?
Over 40 books. Still right. So that's what people don't understand is a book never gets old. The number one grossest book in the world, you know what it is the Bible. Mm-hmm. And the Bible has been rebranded. It's been burnt. It's been banned. It's been rebranded, repurposed, resurfaced. Still number one. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people, if God himself wrote a book, what's your excuse?
Come on.
Because he basically left instructions. Because if he didn't leave instructions, how would we get back? But you guys that are watching this podcast gotta also write your story. Because guess what? I can lead my family, bro. May not lead them multi-millions, which I believe I'll be able to do, but I'll believe in books, 40 of them, and it's climbing. My goal is to write 200 to 300 books, right? At the end of the day, there's residual income tied to those books. They'll own the rights to them. It's almost like real estate. I'm giving them knowledge books that they can sell, they can actually boast from. And then I'm also saying, hey, listen, this is what I want to hit you with too. And I said this on social media. It's a very powerful point. I was at my cousin's funeral who died of COVID. And I was sitting there, man, and all the things she did, she took kids in, she raised them, she did all this other stuff. And I was sitting there, man, that's the last stuff I didn't know. And it dawned on me, and I'm going to drop this gem for everybody that's watching. I said, I'd rather write my story while I'm alive than to trust somebody to skim over the highlights of my obituary when I'm dead. You don't win through it. Let me say it again. I'd rather write my story while I'm living, not on my back, tell my true story, than to let somebody else skim over the highlights and say, he was a good man, he did this, X, Y, and Z in 5 minutes, and then go ahead and sing a song and bury me. So you got that opportunity, man. Like I said, the link's gonna be in the video, the link's gonna be there, but write your story while you're living, man. Don't trust somebody else to tell your children how you live and what you've been through and what you leave them a legacy of even your story. A lot of times, man, we don't even get the recipes from the older generation. We ain't put in the books, and when Aunt Mary died, Grandma Susie passed away, we don't know how to make the gumbo. Because what you got to understand is, what if I left the recipe cool and my son turns it into a restaurant, $1 billion restaurant? But if I don't leave the recipe, he ain't got nothing to really go on. He got to create, he got to work on it. And that's the whole thing about inheritance. Yeah, like one of the things I learned, man, is that when you leave an inheritance or you leave a legacy, it gives your kids a head start for them to plug into. What if you would have wrote the recipe down from your generation so that the next generation can turn it into a restaurant? And the generation out there can turn it into a franchise. And then the next generation after that. You know, our counterparts have been doing this for years, but they understand the importance of leaving an inheritance. What blessed me one day, man, I checked your profile out, bro, and I saw you at your son's graduation.
Yeah.
That's legacy.
Man, even beyond that, to piggyback off of what you were just saying about how you took that ability that your son has and you already snatched it and put it up waiting for him. The same thing with my son, man. You know, it was dope to see him graduate. But like both of my sons are advancing on our platform that we built, my label, and then our television network. But Damari, in general, he did music and didn't even let me know. He went, he did it himself. It's not that he didn't want to let me know. It's not that I didn't support him or anything like that. He knew. But my son also knew what I had been through in my life, right? So he always supported that creative side of his father, you know? So when I found out that he was paying for studio time on his own and going in and let the boys gifted. When I found that out, I was like, okay, bing, okay, I got my label. It's your inheritance. You the prince of the label. I'm guiding you. Come on, I'm guiding you. I've walked through so many different doors and you know what I mean? Walked through went through so many different pitfalls, had so many different doors closed in my face, but it's trial and error, like you were saying earlier. And I got a partner, you know, that's done it all. And so together within this music, you mean to tell me I'm able to not only cultivate my son, but we released his first single. I shot his first video, which was my directorial debut, shoot his video. And as of yesterday, we just put his first album through. So his album will be out on his birthday, you know, underneath our label. So I understand that completely, and legacy is very important. It just makes me feel good that talk that we had years ago
Yeah.
ends up being this talk that we're having right now. And I greatly appreciate you and your time for coming on and just dropping just the small, just the small nuggets, you know, that my viewers need. Real quick, tell everybody where they can find you, Doc. Let everybody know where they can get in contact with you.
Yeah, definitely. You can definitely reach out to me. I'm Dr. Oliver T. Reid. I'm at Dr. Oliver T. Reid on Instagram, on Facebook, fully branded. You can also go to www.drolivertreid.com. Get connected there. In Google searches, you can put Dr. Oliver T. Reid in. As well as I'm offering a free training. If this has blessed you tonight and reached you and you want to write, I have a free training. You can go to www.milkwritingsystem.com. That's www.milkwritingsystem.com. Opt in, and I got a free training video to kind of go over what I just said. I want to say this part real quick too, bro. I love what you did with your son, because I didn't even know my son was writing. I just went to a social media page and saw he had been documenting writing these poems that were posts for 2 years.
Wow.
And so I snatched them. I was like, boom. And then, so I love that foresight with your son too. I didn't even know that he was doing that. So we don't even know, to the men out there, you don't even know how you're blessing your family by just being there.
By just being there, just existing. And I just want to throw this little nugget out there too, to all the men, all the fathers out there. You know, don't let anybody dictate who you are to your child.
Yes.
Or your children. Please don't give anybody else the power. I don't care if it's lack of finances. I don't care if it's, you know, lack of job, lack of whatever, but don't you lack in their lives. Do not. That is your legacy. That is your seed. You know what I mean? I felt the need to have to say that, man, because there's a lot of people that it'll just escape past their heads, man, and I don't want that to happen on this show. I refuse to allow it to happen on this show.
Yes.
Doc, I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for dropping knowledge and giving that wisdom. Again, we're gonna have those links right down there. Right there. Y'all make sure y'all follow this man. Doc, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much.
No problem. Well, that was it, guys. Thank you for joining me. It's been another episode of Convo. I'm Mr. Cooper.